Hi everyone. I'm making a real-time tactics strategy game, and it has a pause at will feature to it. It's heavily inspired by games like Door Kickers and Hotline Miami. Well, the Hotline Miami is visual, and the mechanics are more Door Kickers and Syndicate. And it's set in a kind of alternate future present with some, science fiction elements. So it's cyberpunk in the sense that you have augments that you can upgrade your player characters with, and that the whole brain hack function where you're going to be capturing enemy agents or soldiers, personnel, and then brainwashing them to be your soldiers. So I thought I would take a few minutes and just kind of run through the game, the menu system, the gameplay, let people see what it's all about, and if it's something that interests you, you can then follow along and see more updates on the work as it goes. So without talking more, let me get started. We're going to skip the tutorial for now, but there's a basic tutorial system that kind of walks you through some of the elements. So this is the map selection screen, and what you have here is you kind of have an overworld here. This is a kind of a city island, and you have it broken down to individual sectors, and each sector has maps, and then missions can be generated on maps. Your goal is going to be to capture sectors. Right? By capturing sectors, you'll increase your funds, and you'll increase your resources, and your goal is eventually take over all of it. At the start of the game, the island will be controlled by 4 different factions here. These are all maps that are available. You can click here to see maps that have missions, right? And we'll go into more detail on that. This is the next screen, right? The team setup. What you're doing here is you're going to be going through the different characters you have, giving them equipment, weapons, gear, right? You can change their sign. Like if you don't want to call this guy Lollipop, you can call this guy Cannon. No. Call him Bait. Right? You can change their augments. So this guy currently has no augments, but we have no augments to buy. So moving on, we have the roster setup. And if you've played any of the Metal Gear Solid games, more particularly some of the later ones like Portable Ops, I think Peace Walker and 5 have this element also. You have lists of different employees that you control, and they're divided into different sections, and different sections have different functions. So teams are the guys you send out on combat. The ward is just wounded people or people healing from augments. They fall in here. You have the research. Right, these guys help you unlock new augments and also speed up the time of healing and augment installation. You have your intel guys. These are agents you will assign to a sector that you don't control, right? And then they will generate missions and information about said sectors. That way you can kind of maybe decide, hey, based on these information, I'm going to try and capture this sector first, or this sector not, or ways that you can maybe accelerate capturing a sector. Right now, all you can do is actually pick the sector, right? But in the future, you'll be able to kind of be more precise. Like go to this sector 18 and look for information on weapons, or look for information on augments, or look for information on enemy personnel who can have high medical information. The bench, that's just unassigned characters, and the brig will be characters that you have captured, right, but have not been brain hacked and brainwashed to be on your team. Reports and goals. This is just any intel reports that are generated. They're going to fall here, right? So you can cycle through them. As you have more agents in the field doing intel, you'll get more reports, and then you can kind of sift through them and decide which ones you want to pursue. Purchase research, kind of straightforward, right? Weapons, ammunition, gear, augments, bodies that you can purchase. Alright, so let's actually buy some augments here. And you see it comes out of our funds. Right? And we have a daily income based on how many sectors we control. Our expenses are based on our agents, how many we have. You can also purchase people that have already been agents who have already been brain hacked. That way you can skip that process if you're low on personnel. And likewise, you can sell. So if you have weapons you don't need, weapons you've picked up, agents you don't need, augments, you can sell them, generate cash flow. Every turn advances the world half a day, but you can also just force time forward as you need. Right? And then you have a save, some basic options, saving, loading. And then a concern I have is that this UI is slightly confusing. I'm kind of blind to it, I feel, at this point, because I've been in the middle of making this. But this is an attempt to try and alleviate some of that confusion. Right? You can click on this help, it gives you a question mark, and then you can click on a button, right? And it'll give you a short summary of what the button does, or the screen field. It's not finished, it's not perfect, but that's the kind of the basics. So let's set up a team real quick for a mission. We purchased some augments earlier, so we'll go add augment, and see an optical implant. We're gonna install it and close. You'll see now we have those. I will say currently it just automatically installs, but in the future there will be some probably time. Give them some armor. Yeah, let's give them a gun. And you know what? Let's also purchase some demolition charges. Give everybody some body armor. Give everybody some vests. Let's get a different weapon here. You can also change their looks, so if you want to differentiate them. Alright, like we can put this one in, we can put pan in blue camo. And we can put folder, a slightly different outfit. And what's bait look like? Let's make bait. Put him in all black. Black and blue. There we go. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start this mission here. Alright. And here we go. We're in the mission. You can see our inventory here, what each character has. Alright. And we've got our characters here. You can tab to cycle through them. Alright. And then you can also cycle through their fire modes and their weapons. What we're going to do here, actually, instead of going through the door, let's go ahead and position people here. And you can pause time like that. It's a quick, you hit pause, and we're paused here. We're going to go ahead and drop a demolition charge here by the wall. And then we're going to get out of the way. Look this way. And let's get her actually, a little bit out of the way. And let's go ahead, we'll blow the charge, and we'll send everybody in. Alright. Actually, we probably shouldn't walk into an explosion. Oh boy, he was killed pretty quick. And as you see, we utterly failed that mission. Probably should show what success looks like, but I really didn't show you success at all. Alright, so we're going to try and do this a second time with slightly better results. And kind of explain more here. So you can select agents, and then as you drag the cursor around, you can make way paths. So if you've played door kickers before, this is very similar. Probably the one note you'll say is, this looks like door kickers at home. It's not as advanced. And why it's the limiting factor right now is that your commands along the way path are tied to these waypoint markers. So you can't put the locations wherever you want. It is a limiting factor. It is something looking at changing. At the moment, this is what it's at. You can throw grenades, like you can, so for example here we can go throw a grenade if you have one, and then we can throw it around the corner here, for example. What you don't also have is you don't have pause commands. So he's going to get here, throw the grenade, and then immediately keep walking, which is slightly dangerous. But let's go ahead and just make some way pass here, and we'll come around this corner, and we'll come around this corner also, and we're gonna cover everybody's 6. And we're just gonna lone man this other guy out here. You can zoom out a little bit to see the whole map. And you know what? Let's go for it. Now if we want, we can stop, change our commands, but we'll keep going. Oh, that didn't work. Now something you'll notice as you watch, you'll see doors open and close. Doors need work. At the moment they kind of telegraph where the enemy is. I had more advanced doors at one point. They were slightly too advanced and were causing frame rate issues when you had more than a couple doors. They weren't optimized at all. So this is kind of an interim solution, but it will be changed. All right, let's keep going. And we'll go through here. All right, and let's get one of them to look that way. Oh no, that's another slight problem. As you notice, it's pulling up 2, selecting both. Things to work on. We'll go this way. Like you saw that, it was telegraphed that door, so we even kind of can cheat here. We saw them, we know somebody's coming that way. Alright. We'll go that way. Alright. And we'll come back here. Another slight cheat here. You see these blood drops? So people bleed. And yeah, you can kind of cheat. So we know a guy's here. Now, something we can do, because we're cheaters, we can come here and drop a demolition. You know what? We can actually, you can drop a demolition charge also here. We can blow a hole to that wall. He can drop a demo charge. He can drop a demo charge. And now we can actually blow this wall and force our way in the back. There we go. Now, a few things. You notice the AI does not react much to these walls being blown. They can walk through them. It does update their walk. Their knowledge of the map, and they will make use of those blown walls to pass through if they need to. But they do not react to the idea of covering. Well, they don't react to the noise per se enough at the point, or turn to look at a wall being blown behind them. And that's something AI needs some work also. Last little thing to show off is you can pick up bodies. You can pick up weapons too, and you can exit with them. Now, that's a dead body we just picked up, so it's not going to give us any advantage for leaving with. If you knock somebody unconscious with a non-lethal weapon, you can then take them out as a captured person. Last thing to show is this guy we saw here. He got wounded here and is bleeding out here. That red column is his blood reservoir. We will just make it out, but if you let that go all the way out, they will die. That's about it. That's where the game's currently at. If it's something that looks like of interest to you, wishlist, check out the demo on itch. At the moment, I'm just looking for feedback on what people like, what people don't like, how is it performing currently on people's rigs. Some things that definitely need to be worked on. As I mentioned, the door, AI, still features that need to be added to the overall game. The controls, how tight they feel with the waypoints, is something I definitely have a concern on. We're not trying to make door kickers here, although it's very similar to door kickers. But I am slightly concerned that the game will probably appeal to people who like door kickers. They'll pick it up, kind of expect something similar, at least in how it handles, and then it's like it's not going to handle that same way. It's not as tight. That is a concern to me. Right? There's no plans to have like a replay function like door kickers have. Like, we're not trying to do everything door kickers does. And the whole ability to plan like a whole mission out it's not going to be, you're probably not going to plan a whole mission or choreograph a whole mission like you do in Door Kickers. This isn't a purpose-built engine. I don't have the same skill level as the gents over there who built at Kill House Studios or Kill House Games that made Door Kickers. So we're not trying to do everything, but I am concerned about how tight the controls feel when you're moving people around, and that may be something I come back to. So at the moment, there's a simple demo up on itch. If it's something, this looks like something you're interested in, please take a look at the demo, take a shot at it, and then please fill out the feedback form. There's a link, right, which I can actually show you, right? It says a link on the itch page, but also if you're in the game, right, you can, when you go to quit, it's going to ask you right here, right? You click on that, it's going to take you to a page. Please fill it out. It would mean a lot to me to get some feedback from people who are actually playing the game. Do you enjoy it? How's it working? How is it playing? There is an issue right now with a shader. There's one shader used in the game. There's an issue with it. I'm not sure exactly why. Some people have an issue with it and some people don't. I'm still working on that. The game will play fine. It'll give you a little message in the mission, right? And then all the agents, yours and the enemies, will just kind of look like they're in grayscale. Outside of that, as I said, please, if it interests you, take a look, play it, give me some feedback, and if you really like it or you don't, because it helps me either way, but preferably you do like it, please wishlist it on Steam. It helps me out, and yeah, that's about. Let me stop talking.